Hello everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is time for the weekly wrap-up. We're going to take a look at this week's action and say, hey, are we closer to shit hitting the fan or not? You can probably guess which way I'm going to vote on this, but we made it through another week, so let's get into it. All right. It's been a hell of a week for me. It was summer one day, it was spring again the next when it started raining. What a crazy set of winter circumstances. I don't know what to make of it. You know, we've got strange weather, volcanoes, earthquakes, typhoons, hurricanes, shit. You know, never a dull moment on this planet. Well, thank God for communication. Otherwise, we might be bored to death with nothing to think about. So speaking of things to think about, Trump met with Kim Jong-un in Singapore. Did you hear about it? I bet you did. Because you're paying attention. What about the rest of the world? You know, I walked by the TV today, looked up, and it was about somebody who shot a car, I think in Seattle. Someone's shooting at cars on a freeway. And I thought, you know, that's interesting. That's a small crime that's occurred. I didn't just see that once, I saw it twice, meaning it was on the hourly cycle. They kept running that news story, that nothing sandwich news story. There's no meat in it. Right? You want meat? Talk about a place that over 60 years ago we had a war. They called it the Korean conflict, right? But the war never ended properly. They had a ceasefire. Right? Everyone stopped shooting for a while. We're going to catch our breath. Well, that was 60 years ago. So Trump has done something that hasn't been done in 60 years. Not under Nixon, not under Reagan, not under Bush or Clinton did this happen, nor good old Obama. But Trump has managed to get this far where North and South Korea are meeting. Where North Korea is going to, what? Their leader's going to go outside the country and work with others. He's working with China. China's telling him, time to be a good boy. Trump is getting this kind of stuff done. Peace, right? Wouldn't that be fucking nice? And today, the press was asking him a bunch of questions. And he said, the reason I'm doing what I'm doing is that you and your family don't get killed with a nuclear weapon. It was quite interesting how rude the press was. They're just fucking rude. It's weird. Right? The mainstream media is stupidly quiet. I mean, where is the real coverage, the importance of this? You know, demilitarizing and denuclearizing the Korean Peninsula, which will ease tensions with Japan, which will ease tensions with China, which will ease tensions with the U.S., which will ease tensions with Russia. When shit hits the fan, and I'm certain it will, just whether we get a little one, a mini shit hits the fan, or the big kahuna, right? The Captain Caveman shit hits the fan. Which one we get, I don't know, but we're going to get one. And I'd rather have the big boys and the little dictators all calm about things, right? But the mainstream media, they'd rather talk about bullets and cheerleaders and homosexual birthday cakes, right? It's everything but the real news. You know what I didn't hear at all? And, you know, frankly, I don't sit around and watch the news all day. But I walk by and lots of people report. People come and tell me things. Hey, did you catch this in the news? I'm like, no, I didn't see that one. Because it's stuff that is trivial, unimportant. The Inspector General's report came out this week. And the QAnon people are all excited, and I can understand why. It's interesting information. Other people are blowing it off. More nothing sandwich. No meat in it. But, you know, there really is some action there. As far as I'm concerned, where the fuck are the arrests? Right? That report all by itself points to crimes. And it's stuff that we already knew happened. Hillary's committed crimes. Comey's committed crimes. There's crimes out the wazoo. Everybody knows about it and nobody is doing anything about it. Where is the sense of moral outrage in the press? Where is the sense of moral outrage in the people? Well, I'm morally fucking outraged. I want to see someone arrested, charged, thrown in fucking prison. Take the key, melt it down. Right? Just, you know, corruption has the appearance of winning as we get closer to the election. One of the things I'm still holding out on is that Trump is going to hold off on the arrests until about a month before the election so he can make it part of the campaign against the Democrats, against corruption. He's going to make it part of the midterm election. Right? If I was him, I would strategize for that. For all of us watching and paying attention, it is monumentally frustrating to have to fucking wait on this. Right? It is off the charts frustrating. It pisses me off. Right? I don't like waiting, but I guess that's just what's going to have to happen. Now, at the same time, the Democrats, the dark state, deep state, evil state, whatever the fuck they are, the Illuminati, if they're going to collapse the economy, this is their one time to do it, at the most opportune moment, to save their own skins, literally, to win the election, literally, and then to impeach Trump, literally. You know, that's a 1, 2, 3. If they can distract everyone from the crimes, right, win the election and get rid of Trump, they're going to need to do that. And collapsing the economy would do it. It would take the heat off of them. It would camouflage what's going on, and it would give them a chance to win. I can definitely see why they want to collapse the economy. What do they care about you and me and everyone else? They've already fucked the whole thing up. It's been artificially supported for how long now? Even before 2008. I'm taking it all the way back to the 90s when they started dropping interest rates artificially low to stimulate debt spending in the in the private sector, me and you. And to make your bank seem like a not so good place to keep your money if you're only going to get 2%, 3% there, when you can get 12% on Wall Street. Fuck it, send your money to Wall Street. They've been artificially stimulating the economy and driving money to Wall Street for over 20 years. Right? There was a reason for it. They knew what was going on. The system is going to fail. And now they've been holding it up since 2008 with quantitative easing, which is, right, just pumping cash out there and letting the rich people hold it. And by rich, I mean the super uber asshole rich. Not your cousin who owns an oil company or an oil well or something like that. You know, he owns a chain of motels. I don't care about that fucking guy. They're going to want to do this. It has the appearance that corruption is winning. The IG report has it out there, right? The QAnon people are going bonkers. People want to see some justice, for fuck's sake, right? And Trump is going to probably hold off until we get closer to the election. So my question is, if that's the case, if that seems like the most likely scenario, why the fuck isn't anyone getting arrested? Well, Trump's waiting for the election. Why the hell hasn't the economy collapsed all the way? They're waiting for the election. That's the best and most probable scenario I can come up with. Now we've got a fucking horse race. It's not going to be, let's see who can get closest to the election before pulling the trigger. It's going to be who pulls it first. Does Trump start making arrests, or do they collapse the economy? If those who want to collapse the economy know the arrests are coming because they've got insiders, right? They've got moles. They may want to pull their trigger 3-4 days earlier. Well, if the Trump team knows they're going to pull their stuff 3 or 4 days earlier, maybe they're going to kind of let it be known, well, you know, October 1st we're going to start making arrests, when they actually mean the week before, third week of September. And will the Democrats realize they're being rope-a-doped? Whoa, they said they're going to make arrests at the beginning of October. We need to get out there and crash the economy. We need to have all of our people pull their money. We need to play some of our insider shenanigans in order to get the economy collapsed before Trump makes his arrest. So will it come as early as September? It could. It could. August, September, October, November. November, first Tuesday is the election. It always is. But I am sick of the crimes. I am sick of the corruption. I am sick of the injustice. It's making me physically ill. Okay. And speaking of physically ill, Anthony Bourdain. There's still a lot of mystery around this guy's suicide. There's people that say, oh, he left this note and he was in terrible pain. I know people that say, oh yeah, suicide's a horrifying thing. You don't know a lot of times who it's going to get. It just gets them. Other people are like, no, he was the happiest he's ever been. He even said so. He's happy with this and happy with that. There's a lot of questions about his girlfriend and who she's related to and what she liked to do and was she into that witchcraft spirit cooking crap with Hillary. So could Anthony have been too close to something and too willing to talk about some shit he'd seen? Is he going to roll over? Is he sick of corruption? Was he sick of the crap? Was he disgusted by it? Was he involved with it and repentant? You know, did he not want to be exposed? Is that why he killed himself? There's a lot of controversy. There's a lot of concern because anyone tied to Hillary, what? What happens with Hillary? People, they just commit suicide around her left and right. They shoot themselves in the back of the head. They go swimming with too much chain. You know how that works. Suicide.
Playtime is over. Get your Prepared Mind merchandise to show your support for the channel, stop censorship, and to tell YouTube they can smoke it. Get prepared now.
The Federal Reserve this week. Are we closer to shit hitting the fan? Let's raise the interest rates. Oh, inflation, it's gone up. They've hit their target as if they meant to fucking do this. They've hit their target. They need to raise interest rates. That's just going to raise the expense, the cost to participate in the debt economy where everyone's already up to here with debt. I think that they've already got everyone up to here with debt. And for that reason, they're like, well, fuck it. If they're not going to buy anymore, let's raise the interest rates and continue to fucking siphon what little bit of blood they have left out of them. That's what I think. And then 2 more times this year. 2 more times. 2 more times they're going to raise interest rates this year. Plus 2019. I don't know about you, but I have some concerns over this. What is the European Central Bank, the ECB? What is their reaction to this? Is this rate increase because of instability in the market? Are they trying to bring some stability to it? Or is this going to cause instability? Or is one version of instability going to be traded for another? Is this an act of desperation? I think it's an act of desperation. I think the ECB reaction is going to be negative. Instability. We're going to have problems. Problems. Right? With the dollar. The value of the dollar is up. The value is down. Right? One of the expressions thrown around this week is the U.S. dollar is the cleanest shirt in the dirty clothes hamper. I think that's kind of a silly thing. I thought I would say it just because it sounds silly. Right? How about this? Right? They're the least dirty pair of smelly underwear. They all stink, in other words. Right? Why use a shirt when you can talk about a pair of crappy underwear? Right? Because that's what they've done. They have shit all over us, these central banks. You could have done a better job. I could have done a better job. Oh, you want some money? Here you go. Oh, you want some money? Here you go, government. $20 trillion? Here you go. Now you're up to 20. Is everyone happy yet? You want some more money? Who wants more free money that we're going to charge interest so it's not free? Oh, man. I could have done it. You could have done it. And then I go, well, you know, I'm going to charge the people 4%, but I'm only going to charge the government 0.5%. Right? I'll take 0.5% of $20 trillion. Good God. Right? I'll cut the feds a break. That's not what's happening, though. And what is another symptom of shit hitting the fan, catastrophic baloney on the horizon? Not only are we having problems with the central banks and what they're doing, we have economic problems. The monetary problems with the banks contribute to the economic problems, and the economic problems contribute to the monetary problems. World leaders are squabbling over trade deals. Who gets what deal? Who benefits the most? Someone who's winning obviously doesn't want to give up the winning, or they don't want to give up what they've got, so they lose even worse. And I think maybe that's a good perspective to look at things from. Instead of saying, well, I'm winning, they're like, dude, without this deal with the U.S., we're going to lose really big, so we don't want to lose our deal. Everyone seems to be worried about themselves. You've got Merkel, you've got Macron, you've got, what's that clown up in Canada? Justin Trudeau. You know, I mean, they're just the three most vocal in everyone else's face about this. You know, and I got to sit back and just wonder what Vladimir Putin is doing in Russia. He's probably got himself a vodka martini, and he's sitting in a chair, and he's probably chuckling himself to fucking death. I enjoy watching Putin, whether or not they've got a translator, because he is calm, cool, and collected. He seems to know what's going on, while the rest of the world is pulling their fucking hair out, threatening each other, acting the fool, right? Talking nice to someone and then talking shit behind their back, except they're talking shit on a camera behind their back. In other words, people like Trudeau won't say anything to Trump's face. It could be that Trump is actually a big man and he's not a pussy. He doesn't come across as one, he's not weak. And so they don't want to say anything to his face. But right now we've got all this squabbling. What does that indicate? It indicates things aren't good. If Germany was kicking ass and making a bunch of money, they'd go, hey, if you don't care, you know, whatever, blow them off. The French would say, ho, 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 pass the fucking wine and French bread. They don't care, right? Give me another baguette. Who cares about America? We don't need them. No, they need America. We need them, they need us, and they know it, and we know it, and everybody knows it. And everyone wants to get the best deal possible for themselves, because things are absolutely wretched out there. Otherwise, why go through the exercise of acting like a fucking asshole in front of the whole world? You know, Trump sitting down and everyone standing over the top of him. I bet he was laughing his ass off on the inside. Except Trump really is a little bit of a different cat than Putin, personality-wise, and it shows in their outside demeanor. So is Trump fixing things? Well, he's doing some things good, right? But you can't fix stupid. That would be Congress. That would be the other countries. And you can't fix a broken economy with the stroke of a pen. It's just not that simple. If it was done, right, our good buddy Obama could have gone to his whiteboard and wrote, "Feex it," F-E-E-X-I-T, feex it, and sign his name. And then he could say, oh, it's feexed. Right? No, it's not feexed. You can't just sign your name to something and fix it, no matter how good your intentions are. And if throwing money at shit worked, all that quantitative easing would have us all sitting on luxury yachts. Oh, I needed that. What a fucking week. So I had a thought earlier today, thinking about my parents. You know, I tell you guys, I've been prepping since I was 14-ish, right? Started collecting military surplus and things that I thought would be necessary if the world was going to end. At the old end of the world as we know it. And then I thought, where did that come from? Where did that thought get generated? I know I read some articles in some gun magazines, kind of let me know, you know, I didn't like what I was seeing outside. But then there was this Murphy's Law. And I work with a Murphy. Actually, I work with two Murphys. If anything can go wrong, it will. If anything can go wrong, it will. That's Murphy's Law. It was a great joke, right? But it's also shit hits the fan wisdom. When you think of your plan, right, because we've got food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, you've got a plan for everything. But if it can go wrong, it will. That's that adage, that, you know, axiomatic phrase, it just seems to work. So how do we plan for Murphy's Law when shit hits the fan? Right? If anything can go wrong, it's will. Just a little thinking exercise for you. I've already done my work on it, my exercise. Right? I try to be ready for absolutely everything and then have a counter plan for things that don't work out. Right? So, I wanted to end with that. That's probably where some of my thinking came from, was Murphy's Law hitting me upside the head somewhere in the back. Right? Somewhere in the subconscious. It was working on me. Boy, you better get a plan together because things are going to go bad if they can, and we've seen enough. Right? Again, I grew up in the end of the Soviet era. The threat of all-out World War III nuclear Armageddon. That was very real back then, and it's still a very real possibility today if the wrong idiots are in charge and the wrong idiots get the wrong idea. Let's hope not, right? Let's not hope that if anything can go wrong, that will be it. All right, everybody, thank you again. We're going to get back on the live stream horse and do some Q&A, some questions and answers with you guys. Hopefully next Saturday. Let's talk to Jolene and then send her a couple messages, send some requests, send in your questions. You can send them in on Facebook. You can send them in at the preparedmind.club, your store for your prepping needs. You can send them in through Patreon, through the comments section there, if you're a member of Patreon. And we'll get those questions answered and we'll start talking. Next week is going to be interesting. Let's just see if Sessions does anything with the IG report. Or let's just see if I'm right, or appear to be right, and that Trump is going to hold on to all those aces and hold them until the election. Right? Let's see what world leaders do next week. Let's just see how stupid they get. Right? Let's see what the reaction next week is to the Federal Reserve's reaction to the ECB's reaction to the Federal Reserve. Right? The stock market did some weird shit this week. Gold went up. Silver went way up. And today it took all of it back. It crashed back down. Gold came back down heavy and hard too. Smacked the bottom. Everything looked like a bloodbath on Wall Street except for the Dow. It finished 80 points down. Basically unchanged. Not a big deal. Not a big deal, huh? Why the volatility? Why the screwiness? There's problems out there. Keep your eye open. I'll talk to you guys Monday. Take care. Semper Fi, chance favors the prepared mind, is yours.